Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Manufacturing South Carolina. We're up to episode number 16, if you are keeping score. And as always, I am your host, Rick Jenkins. Today, we're diving into the world of design build services, an integrated approach that's transforming how factories and production facilities are designed and constructed. From faster project timelines and lower costs to smarter collaboration and cutting-edge technology, design build is helping manufacturers stay ahead in a competitive market. Experts are now turning ideas into fully operational facilities with speed, efficiency, and precision. Here to tell us how it all works is Andre Harris. He is the vice president at AM King. They are an integrated design build firm based in Charlotte with an office in Greenville. Andre, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it.
It is good to have you here. Now, I said in the intro that AM King, I believe, is headquartered up in Charlotte,
Yes, sir.
and but you work out of the Greenville office, right? And you told me before we came on air that you're a South Carolina boy, born and raised Fountain Inn, and
in
way
South
back in
Carolina.
Greenville.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before we get into the conversation too much, Andre, tell me about AM King. Give us that elevator speech.
So AM King, roughly 20 years old, design build and a fully integrated design build firm, headquartered out of Charlotte, 4 offices, Greendale, Chicago, Wisconsin. And we offer design build solutions, right? So to manufacturing clients, food processing clients, heavy industrial clients, we take them from the idea or from a problem to a solution. And we'll talk, I know, about what that means in comparison to some other delivery methods, but homegrown company. We live here, we play here. Just a bunch of good old, I say family-oriented employees. We try to create a good environment for employees. We try to care about each other. We try to care about our projects, to care about our clients. But yeah, just generally.
Yeah, you're headquartered in Charlotte, so it started there. And then, you went into Chicago. Chicago, Charlotte, big cities. Of course, Chicago, one of the largest cities in the country. And now you're in little old Greenville, so to speak. Why did Greenville become a target?
So the A and the M in the AM King
Yeah.
were Greenville guys, old suit construction, Fleur Daniel. It's kind of where we cut our teeth, doing a lot of design build, which is, a little bit different construction delivery method than some of the other methods. But then also the company is tremendously client focused, right? So we have several clients here in Greenville, which substantiates the Greenville office. But we have a pretty significant client in the Chicago area, which necessitated a need for an office there.
You all have worked on a lot of facilities in South Carolina. I mean, you have worked on the ZF transmission facility in Graincourt, Munzing, and Clover. You've also done GE Vernova in Greenville. Others as well, right? So you all have a pretty good footprint in South Carolina.
We stick close to the food industry, food processing, food distribution. That's more so out of the Charlotte office, the Chicago office, Wisconsin. Here in Greenville, it's more the manufacturing, the heavy industrial, which is your ZFs, your GEs, your BB and Womans, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about design build. First of all, I suppose let's define it for those of us who may not be completely familiar. I know it's different than design bid build, right? It's just a different way of delivering a service and a product. Tell us about it.
So design build primarily, and I'll use this term, it is a monogamous relationship as opposed to an adulterous relationship. One contract, one point of contact as opposed to two. We have design services in-house. We have construction services in-house. We actually have two other offerings, property development, property consulting, and facility services. But the two that kind of distinguish us from most construction companies is that we have design in-house.
So you're talking, instead of having a client going to a general contractor and hiring a GC and hiring a separate architect, then they can get them both under one roof. So don't more GCs do that?
Well, you've got to have a level of expertise in the arena, in the chosen field, whether it be food and beverage, heavy industrial manufacturing, whatever the case may be. And then I mentioned the people. Rick, we got to have it in our industry. Historically, the construction folk and the engineers have not had a very good communication, work ethic together. So you've got to have a certain type of engineer, a certain type of designer, a certain type of manager that they can work side by side. So I think that's kind of what separates us from a lot of companies who don't do it, or some companies who actually do design build.
Yeah. What are the cost advantages of going in your all's direction?
Most of the costs in our projects stem around the construction piece, the labor and the equipment. And if we can be efficient, if we have all of the information up front, if we have all the players collaborating together from the beginning, we know what's going on in the industry. In a design bid build situation, you don't pull in the equipment vendors, the labor, the subcontractors until after the design is done. A lot of the decisions are already made at that point. You're kind of locked in, and you really don't know what your price is. In design build, we have all of those entities involved from the beginning, collaborating, talking about it. If there is a shortage in steel and we need to make a modification to that, we can actually do that during the process, as opposed to waiting until the engineering is already done, and possibly you could be locked into a solution at that point.
Right. Less risky.
Less risky, we think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I want to go back. We talked about some of the companies that you all had been involved in, and I suppose, in the things like Nucor and GE Vernova, we're talking expansions of some sort. Do you have one that stands out that is kind of your favorite in some fashion?
I do. We take the client focus part really seriously. The runway for a lot of our projects could be a year or two. We really dig into our clients, understand their process, understand their need in order to come up with a solution for them, a quality, efficient solution. I'm going to talk a little bit about Munzing, if I can, because me personally and a lot of my team, we like meaty projects. We like difficult projects, complex projects. We can really bring value when we dig into a project like that. Munzing is somewhat of a food processing / chemical company. They are a German-based company, and energy efficiency, energy conservation was really important to them. So the solution that they were looking for really married the process, or how they make their project, or how they manufacture their project, and the building in together. Most projects, the process is a separate entity and you wrap the building around it. Well, Munzing wanted a solution that tied the two together. Most manufacturers create a lot of energy, or they use a lot of energy, and they create a lot of excess energy. Munzing wanted to take that excess energy and use it back into their building, back into the process. We were able to do that with them. They're a budding company. They were building multiple facilities at the time, and this facility was one of the few that were on budget and on time. So this one sticks out to me, Rick.
Yeah. How long did it take?
It took us roughly 14 months. It was in Clover, South Carolina. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of years ago, we had a really bad wet winter that caused us some trouble on the construction site, but we were still able to bring it in under the schedule.
Right. Talking about Munzing and listening to you just reminds me of sustainability issues in general. It was important to them. It's important to a lot of folks. Are you finding in your business that it is becoming more and more? Are you getting more requests for green-friendly construction?
Yes, sir. The easiest way to conserve energy or create an alternate energy source is solar panels. Most of the buildings that we build have flat roofs. It creates an area to economically place solar panels so that they're kind of out of the way. The buildings are large. They could be 500,000, 1,000,000 square feet. That's a lot of surface area, which is really important to solar panels. But that's pretty common. What's a little bit uncommon is the energy reduction, i.e., efficiency, because it takes upfront investment, which some of our clients are not willing to invest. Return on investment is really important to them, but we are finding some of our clients are interested in the long-term effects of having a motor that is 70 to 80% more efficient than a cheaper motor, and they're willing to make that investment up front. We have some clients also, this particular client was interested in a hydronic heating system, which used excess heat and water to heat their space as opposed to electricity. So sometimes those systems, again, will have an upfront cost that the owners are not willing to pay. Some of them are interested in the long-term effect.
Right. Let's talk about technology. There's hardly ever a time on this show or any of the shows that we do that we don't talk about artificial intelligence, one, in some format. And I don't know if AI raises its head within your industry or not, but I know there are plenty of things that do. Things like digital modeling and automation and that kind of thing. So of all of that, just give me an overview of how technology is shaping your world.
So Rick, I'll say construction is a little behind
Yeah.
as far as the use of technology. We've got to do better with it. I am seeing it in the digitization of our designs. Modeling has become second nature.
Yeah.
3D designs has become second nature. Most of our designs now are a model. It's a three-dimensional entity. And Brilliant Factory is a concept where we add intelligence to elements in the design. So, i.e., a wall is not just lines anymore. It may tell you a heat transfer rate. It may tell you a fire resistance rate. The floor may have a floor flatness intelligence about it. And all of this is because of what we've been able to do with AI and computer and processing speeds. We've also seen in the construction of the facilities autonomous vehicles. And obviously, some people will argue with you that the quality, it may be better, may be worse. I don't really think there's really an argument when you're asking a robot to read GPS global positioning systems, and then you look at the product that it's producing, it's pretty accurate. And then we've also seen robotic equipment as well. So
How does the autonomous vehicles work? Give me an example.
So on a site development, some of the pads I mentioned are 500,000 or 1,000,000 square feet. That's a lot of square footage or a lot of acreage that you have to flatten. In essence, you put a small slope on it to get rid of the water, or you make it flat to house whatever equipment that you're going to install. You put two receivers on both sides of the blade of a piece of equipment, and you have it read its position based on satellites. And you use it, you turn it on, and you have it guide itself, and it flattens the site for you without a person guiding it or driving it.
I have not heard that.
Yes, it is going on right now.
Right. To a great degree?
Uh,
I'm just kind of picking up speed.
It's picking up speed. I'd probably say half of your major sites are being supported or operated somewhere fashion with autonomous equipment.
How about that? How about robotics? You mentioned that. Examples.
So in construction, we've got something called a CMU unit or a construction masonry unit. It's got a little weight to it, Rick. It would take something for you or I to pick it up with one hand. I've seen mechanical arms that are weighted on the backside pick these up, units twice their size with no problem. And what it does is it reduces the amount of units you have because this robotic arm can pick up what you and I can't. It reduces the amount of paste or a mortar that goes in between. It speeds you up. So I think we're going to continue to see advances like these in the industry as construction evolves, AI evolves, and we as the construction professionals, design build professionals, start to use the technology and apply it to what we do every day.
A couple years ago, I was talking to someone with a similar job as you, and we were out at the job site, and they just happened to have these 3D goggles that I could put on and showed the building from inside that they were constructing. And I was amazed by it because it allowed me to look around a room, as an example, and say, hey, what happens if we take those windows and we move those windows over there? Or if we take that door and we make it a little wider, or if we raise the ceiling from X feet to X feet. And it was just absolutely amazing to me. It's got to really cut down on design time, right?
The things like virtual reality glasses,
That's right.
modeling, the ability to plan, right? I mean, if our business is 5 parts, 3 parts of that is planning.
Yeah.
We also try to mitigate change or manage change. I'm a older guy, Rick, and one of the things that I've heard from people before me and that I believe in is if you can't see it, you can't build it.
Yeah.
So what digital modeling, 3D diagrams, virtual reality glasses are allowing us as the professionals is to see it more clearly, more accurately. And that is going to produce efficiency, quality, time, money savings in the industry.
Let's talk about some challenges, Andre. I mean, in the manufacturing world and in the construction world, labor is hard to come by sometimes. Sometimes it seems that from your perspective that it might be hard to get folks to come out there and do some difficult work. And on the manufacturing side of things, it's no secret that we had been really looking for talent for quite some time. We've got jobs that we can't fill in both sectors, right? How are you being impacted? What are you seeing, not only in your world, but in the clients that you're
That
seeing?
impacting work.
Yeah.
So in the construction professional world, design build world, we are seeing from a subcontract standpoint, so a skilled labor standpoint, we're seeing challenges. We have had to pull in the technical schools to try to shore up masons, electricians, mechanics. I have heard from my clients the same issue, skilled labor, not just labor, but skilled labor.
Yeah.
And the evolution of AI is not making it any easier because now there's a technology facet to the labor. So we're all challenged in that area. Workforce development is going to be a concern no matter what industry you're in. From a design build standpoint, Rick, it is actually an opportunity for us because some of our clients have resources set aside for capital expenditures, for facility management, facility services. And we're able to very efficiently and on an as-needed basis provide those services for our clients so that they can use those resources elsewhere, making whatever product that they make. So on one hand, it's a challenge, but on another hand, it's an opportunity for us to support our clients.
Yeah. Andre, I'm going to get you out of here on this. We've been talking about technology. I'm going to ask you to look into your crystal ball, and as difficult as this might be, let's take a stab at it. You said in your industry been a little bit slow to adapt to the technology run. Where do you see things in 5 years? I mean, what's it going to look like in the design build industry? How are things going to change?
We're already seeing, as I mentioned, Rick, I got a little age on me, so the way I started and the tools that I use to manage, the tools that I see used to construct buildings is changing. We mentioned some of them in previous conversation. Some of the management tools, some of the scheduling tools, some of the accounting tools, they're getting smarter. They're collaborating a lot better. Like I say, processing time on information is becoming non-existent. Information is readily available to you via the web. So I was able to participate in a competition with some high-level, high-character students from multiple southeastern universities. And the knowledge that they have, and I've got to attribute it to the availability of the information, was astounding, given that they were only sophomores, juniors, and some seniors. So I've got to believe that if I couple those students with the advances that we're making in AI and computer-generated documents, designs, that we're going to see. I mean, it's unfathomable what construction will look like in 5 or 10 years. Technology is coming. There's no stopping it. It's just a matter of how fast we grab onto it and apply it to what we do. Right.
Andre, really good stuff. I appreciate you joining me. It was good to have you.
Rick, I appreciate it. It's my back anytime.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Folks, smart guy right there. That is Andre Harris. He is vice president at A.M. King, a design build construction firm headquartered up in Charlotte, but an office right here in Greenville, South Carolina. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Let's Talk Manufacturing. We'll see you next time.